was 1990 when the bowels of the underground spewed forth black thrash metal outfit Occult. Maurice, an underground black metal maniac and at that time the drummer of Dutch black metal pioneers Bestial Summoning, formed Occult together with his friend Leon to express their raging emotions. Drummer Eric from the band Inexorable was asked to join Occult as everyone felt that he was a better drummer, which left Maurice no other choice than taking over the vocals. 2 years later, Occult had written their first songs and did their first live performance at the Black Flame Festival in Elslo. This show resulted in the recording of a live promo tape, which was officially released and reviewed in many underground magazines. The lineup at this time was Maurice on vocals, Leon on guitars and Eric on drums. Shortly after, bassist Sjors, who played in a local band called Crematorium, was added to the lineup.
All those who came to Occult, I want to hear from us. Joining me with...
Because of their aggressive act on stage, Occult was approached by Bohu's main organizer, Remy Veerkamp, inviting Occult to play at his second Black Mass Festival in Rotterdam in 1993, which also featured bands such as Ancient Rites, Engraved and Funeral Winds. The absurdity of using 2 intros before the gig was necessary for Maurice to get his adrenaline rush to flow, which aggravated the rest of the band. But after the last few seconds of the intros, the corpse-painted Maurice became a raving madman. The youngsters performed an amateur show, which consisted of playing their own material, blended with covers from Acheron, Samael and Satanas' Jaws of Satan. In 1993, Occult recorded their first demo at Twin Studios and was reviewed in Aardschok magazine as being one of the most interesting Dutch black thrash acts. The success of the demo resulted in a record deal with Decapitated Records, that later turned into Unisound Records. A Greek label which had also signed bands like Mortuary Drape, Rotting Christ, Order from Chaos and Aquamanthorn. Unfortunately, Unisound didn't want to pay the costs for the studio, which appeared to be a huge problem. The band couldn't afford to spend thousands of guilders on their recordings, since they were still going to school. Meanwhile, Maurice came in contact with label manager Mark of Foundation 2000 Records, a record company based in the Netherlands, which had also released the first albums from Sempiternal Deathrain, Gorefest and The Gathering. Maurice told Mark about their financial problems with Unisound, and since Mark was willing to pay all costs, they agreed on recording 2 albums for Foundation 2000 Records. The band signed the Foundation 2000 as well as the Unisound contract, but fortunately the Unisound contract was signed with Maurice's alias instead of his real name, which rendered the whole contract invalid. Occult never really cared to play for cash, but instead they tried to get as many gigs as possible in order to spread their name. However, the communication between Maurice and the rest of the band became tense because of Maurice's completely different views on how to act on stage, and his need of corpse paint didn't appeal to the rest of the band. When Occult played at a German metal party in 1994, the situation reached its climax and turned into a fight which nearly resulted in the band's split up. The love for music kept Occult together, and soon enough these young thrashers attracted the attention from the international press and media, and in February 1994 they were approached by a commercial TV channel which wanted them to be featured in their show called Eyewitness. A camera crew and host followed Maurice during one day.
Alleen aan de gitaar. Dit is Erik de drums. De Jos de bassist.
Maurice thought it was a good opportunity to get some free coverage for his band, but instead the idea of the Eyewitness crew was entirely based on Maurice himself, rather than focusing on the band Occult.
Wat vind je van de muziek?
Ja, kijk goed.
Echt waar?
Ja, echt.
Waarom?
Ja, het trekt me gewoon aan. Gewoon tof. Ja.
Maar het is black metal muziek, hè?
Ja.
Wat trek je daarin aan?
Ja, je flipt erop uit. Ja.
Wat vind je van de zanger?
Van de zanger, gewoon op zich, gewoon, ja, goed. Hij zingt.
Hoe zijn act is?
Hoe hij in het echt is.
Hoe zijn act is?
Zijn echt goed. Ja. Ja.
Wat vind je van de muziek?
Keigoed, echt te gek. Keichic, echt te gek.
Deze muziek, dus
Je leeft voor deze muziek.
Ja, dus... Ja, ja, oké, maar we houden echt alleen maar luisteren naar deze muziek en dergelijke. Dat is keichic. Dat is gewoon lekker graag.
Ja, heb je hoe iemand dat volhoudt die de hele avond zo met het hoofd moet bewegen? Begrijp je dat?
Hè, Bengen? Ja, dat went wel. Ja, in het begin krijg je een beetje pijn in de nek van, maar later dat went wel.
Goeie oefening.
Ja, goede oefeningen, ja.
Wat vind je van de zanger? Maurice?
Oh, wat lullig om dat nou te vragen.
Eventjes. Zou jij jullie muziek kunnen omschrijven?
Nou, dit is gewoon stevige thrash met black metal invloeden. Het is gewoon rammen, 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 rammen. Kort gezegd.
Als jij Maurice zo ziet op het podium, hè? Wat denk je dan? Wat vind je dan van hem?
Veel energie. Hij ontlaat zich op de bühne, dus en als ik dat zie, dan wil ik het zelf ook doen. En dan kijken we elkaar aan en dan krijg je energie en dan begin je.
Hoe gaat het nou vanavond voor zo'n publiek?
Ja, je ziet het zelf, hè, een beetje rustig aan. Hoor.
Maurice zei al, het is shit publiek.
Ja, maar dat komt ook, ja, hier zijn ze niet zo gewend. Dat soort muziek. Dus.
Word je er niet doodmoe van het maken van die muziek?
Wat blieft?
Word je er niet doodmoe van het rondzwaaien met je hoofd en weet ik veel wat?
Nee.
Luckily for Maurice, these recordings were never broadcast.
wat ga je nou doen? Ik ga nou naar huis slapen, morgen naar Woerden. Contract ondertekenen.
Platencontract of?
Foundation, ja, allemaal kopen.
And they did get signed right the next day. Soon after being signed, they booked a local studio and started working on their first album, Prepare to Meet Thy Doom. However, the studio recordings ended in a total disaster. Despite having a serious throat infection, Maurice was forced to do the vocal parts anyway, since Foundation 2000 had already invested in the advertising campaign for the Dynamo Open Air Festival that same year. Thousands of promotional flyers, which announced Occult album release, had already been printed. There was no possible way to reschedule the release of the album. In the summer of 1994, Prepare to Meet Thy Doom was released. It was a slab of black thrash metal, combining thrash riffs with some Scandinavian minimalism, like in the song Leader in War. The band members themselves weren't satisfied with the result at all, due to the weak production of both the songs and vocals.
Waren er nog niet zoveel vrouwen in de metal, maar ik heb er eigenlijk niet zo'n benul van gehad, want ja, dat interesseerde me eigenlijk niet zoveel. Ik gedroeg me ook eigenlijk, ja, ik paste mij wel aan mannen en zo, en ik kan gewoon veel beter met mannen opschieten als met vrouwen. Dus,
Directly after the release of their first album, Rachel, ex-vocalist of the Belgian band Pathology, was added to the lineup. Maurice and Rachel came up with the excellent idea of using two types of vocals in their music, male screams and female growls. Rachel wasn't left much time to rehearse the songs, since they were asked by both Osmosis Productions and Avalanche Agency to accompany Immortal and Marduk on the Sons of Northern Darkness tour in mid-94. Initially, the band thought that they had to cancel their part of the tour, as Eric was unable to play. But drummer Wim from Inquisitor, who later joined the Dutch death metal band Centurion, helped out the band with his European tour. Occult wanted some fresh blood in the band in order to boost up their volume on stage. At the fanfare in Helden, Shores asked Richard to join Occult. Richard, who also played in the local death grind band in New, made up his mind very quickly and was admitted to the band as a second guitarist.
Luister dat?
Dat is de harde werkelijkheid van MBC gitaar. Oké, sometimes we just wanna kill your papa!
Again, the press showed great interest in the band, and in 1995 a Blaze magazine offered them to headline a 3-day mini-tour through Germany, together with Pervertum and Disaster. The tour was arranged very well, and the band was really surprised when the tour bus picked them up at their houses to drive them to their first show in Koblenz, Germany. The shows were very good and the band got along really well. They even did a cover song from Venom, together with Disaster. After the gig in Berlin, an Indian bloke came up to the band and complimented them on their performance and told them he would be delighted to produce their upcoming second album, The Enemy Within. This guy turned out to be the legendary Harris Johns, who also produced the cult albums Pleasure to Kill from Creator, Persecution Mania from Sodom, Consuming Impulse from Pestilence, as well as other classics from Voivod, Tankard, Exhumer, Assassin and Immolation. Given this great opportunity, the band first had to talk to Marga Foundation 2000 Records about the financial aspects, since the Music Lab studio in Berlin was not the cheapest one. Mark didn't hesitate and booked the studio for 2 weeks.
Hier bei den Sänger von Occult, bei dem MAURICE, für den ersten CD Until the Battle geht er jetzt ein Stück für uns spielen.
Erstens für Samples und zweitens für computergesteuerte Gates. Und das dauert sehr lange. Ich muss einen neuen Zettel machen, das ist zu chaotisch.
Ja, ich sehe es.
20.
20.
50. Ein neues Wort.
Holländische Black Metal Band Occult interviewt.
Wie viele Stücke habt ihr insgesamt aufgenommen? 11. Also wie viele Minuten wird die neue CD dann
In Berlin, the band didn't only work on their second album, but they also indulged in a number of other activities, such as doing several TV interviews and playing a gig at the venue Die Insel in East Berlin. After the recordings, Maurice decided to quit using corpse paint completely, as he didn't want to be connected with the sort of black metal bands that started to rule the underground in the mid-90s. In 1995, Occult was filmed for the programs Music Sickness and The Night Rider, hosted by Dutch model Irene van der Laar. During this time, also the Dutch TV channel RTL4 returned with their program Eyewitness and filmed Occult once again. This time intended for a show about extreme metal in general, rather than only taking Maurice's lifestyle as an example.
We zitten inmiddels in België, diep in België, Occult on Tour. Wat vind je ouders eigenlijk van dat je zo leeg blijft?
Ik ben heel trots. Toch wel dat ik zo ver gebracht heb.
Als ze die ligt in de midden ook iets moest doen. Die ligt in de midden.
Zo hè? Dat zou wel leuk zijn. Ja. Nou, ze hebben 350 man verwacht al, dus ja.
Ja, dat wel. Dan gaat het ook zo hard aan, dan als je praat dan nooit dan hoor je.
En één, dat is het
Thank you.
Occult's second album, The Enemy Within, was released in 1996. It displayed more mature composing as well as a more death-like sound due to Rachel's deep death grunts. The songs of the band could be described as a mixture of Creator, Slayer and Pestilence, with a slight Bay Area touch. The album was well received by the international press and the band did many interviews. Occult played at a number of festivals and different venues with bands like Alta, Ancient Rites, Cradle of Filth, Benediction, Sinister, Enthroned and many more. These gigs established their reputation as a really powerful live band. Sometimes a gig was filmed with more cameras. At the end of 1996, Occult was also asked to play at the Dutch Metal Nights, a 3-day annual tour with some other Dutch acts like Orphanage, Gorefest, Goddess of Desire and Osdorp Posse. This was actually the first time that Occult played at bigger and more renowned venues like Paradiso in Amsterdam, Nighttown in Rotterdam,
Here's Occult!
and the legendary Noorderlicht in Tilburg. ...1997 was an important year. Occult joined forces with Sinister to unleash their Dutch tour. The bands played several gigs throughout the country. Sinister and Occult became friends, and Rachel even joined in during 2 Megatherion on stage together with Mike.
Ik ben altijd een grote fan geweest van Sinister. De persoon van Sinister die ik kon was ook toevallig Mike. Die ontmoette ik toen ik 18 jaar was. Heel lang geleden.
Wat je dubbel nou wat doet, schijnt dat Rachel. Het kleine beest van Occult gelukt door Rachel. Rachel van Occult. Het kleine beest van Occult. It's too mega.
Besides doing shows with Sinister, the band also shared stages with Infernal Majesty, Vital Remains, Malevolent Creation, Vader and Pentacle.
Are you dead? War is 5 Minuten bis Auftritt.
Hey Mike, pak eens een biertje voor mij.
Zie ik je. Een biertje. Okay. Oh, ik smeer. Tijd voor de Occult. Applaus! En het is Let It Rise!
Pentacle and Occult did many gigs together. Both had the same roots, like from the 80s. We always liked going bands like Venom, Possessed, Celtic Frost, Destruction and Creator. And we did lots of gigs together, you know. It was always a good atmosphere and everything, we had got some fun. So at a certain point I asked Maurice to do a Destruction cover with us. It was song The Antichrist from the film Overkill album. Because I know his love everything from that kind of bands, so we asked him for a gig in Hilversum in the Dak Rijn. And he joined us on stage as a vocalist, and it was very lots of fun. He did a good job, was aggressive as hell, and it was a very good thing. Enjoyed it very much.
Gaat in de weg, klootzak! Dat is geen flikker, filmen. Hey, niks doen, hè? Dat is kunst en de rest laten weg.
Het hebben we super slim bekeken. Gewoon staan te filmen om die moeten showen, ja.
Dat is geil. Geile boer hier. Super.
One of the band's highlights was playing on the black stage of the Dynamo Open Air Festival in 1997, with bands like Satyricon, Dimmu Borgir and Goddess of Desire in front of 16,000 people.
Do you like pussy metal? Metal! 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 Okay, we're not back in the past. This song is from the first album. Let's hope you guys are there. This one is called The Black of the Rising.
recording 2 albums for Foundation 2000 Records, Occult decided to find a new record label, since they were dissatisfied with the way Foundation took care of matters. Moreover, due to personal circumstances, Mark didn't want to continue with his record company. At the Dynamo Open Air Festival, Occult had distributed a promo cassette with new tracks which they had recorded together with a friend of theirs in the rehearsal room. But it seemed that nobody was really interested in hearing an outdated cassette, as people expected bands to promote themselves on CD. Therefore, Occult booked a Harrow studio in 1998 and recorded a 4-track promo CD. The band paid for all the expenses themselves, and it proved to be worthwhile, since that promo CD resulted in an immediate deal with Massacre Records for the recordings of their 3rd album of Flesh and Blood.
Unser Producer.
Ich war im Büro. Weiter! Sorry, but I heard a really good one.
Yeah.
On BFBS, British Forces Broadcast Service Radio, right? They made people sing along on songs or sing songs they know, you know, on the telephone. And one girl was really horribly flat, you know, like really. And the moderator said, "My God, you're as flat as Holland."
Oh.
For the chorus, man, yeah? Obey. Make them long at the end. Obey, kill, cry and deny. Long. Long. It's
Essen.
After officially signing to Massacre Records for 1 album, the band booked the Real Sound Studios in Germany, where Sodom, Gorefest and Enthroned had already preceded them.
Hallo! Alles klar?
The album was more varied and technical, with a heavier sound than the previous one. During the recordings, the band noticed that Scholz hadn't been able to rehearse properly because of lack of time, and as a consequence, entered the studio unprepared.
When we entered the studio, I went unprepared. I was busy with my career as a graphic designer, which eventually I ended up in New York City, and that was the reason I quit Occult.
The band were on the lookout for a new bassist.
Hello.
There we are then.
And Leon came in contact with Twan, who had already played with Richard in a band called Mortem back in 1988. Twan played in the band Disinfest at that time. They had just recorded their full-length album in Newcastle, which would be released by a record company owned by Venom's Abaddon.
You're my mom. We'll sell this on the black market, Tony.
Twan was a little reluctant to join Occult, as he thought his breakthrough would come after the release of his own band's full-length album. Luckily for Occult, the album was never released, and Twan decided to become Occult's new bassist, but not until the band had taken proper leave of former bassist Chores. He was asked to do a final gig with the band, which was at a CD presentation for A Flesh and Blood. Time, the band members were very dissatisfied with the musical direction guitarist Leon, who had a dominant role in the songwriting process, was heading to. The other members wanted a more brutal, in-your-face approach, instead of the overemphasis on technical, melodic details. This meant a radical turn in Occult's musical songwriting. Leon was thrown out of the band right before Occult joined the Christmas tour in 1999. Occult didn't want to put up with Leon's arrogant behavior on tour, since the Christmas tour was very important, and they didn't want him to ruin it for everyone. It was a big step. Occult had to perform with only one guitarist, whereas the songs were intended for two. Despite this, the band managed to convince the audience with their powerful, all-out thrash attack during the successful European Christmas tour, with death metal gods Morbid Angel, Gorgoroth, God Dethroned, Crisian and Amon Amarth. This was the first time the band hit the road for a longer period of time. Everything was taken care of really well.
Mom, my mom. We're number one, right?
The bands got along well, and there was a relaxed atmosphere.
Oh, Johan, that's a really strange thing.
Onder elkaar, als je met elkaar op kan schieten, dan is het echt gek.
What?
What you building?
I have no idea how to build this shit.
De tour van Morbid Angel, ja, dat is aardige tijd wel geleden.
Ja, die goede dat tegen morgen.
Wat ik ervan kan herinneren is dat ik het echt onwijs vond om bij Morbid Angel te spelen.
Mommy, I'll be proud of you.
Ik ben eigenlijk een heel nuchter persoon, want ja, normaal zeg ik het nooit zo snel, maar ik vond het echt te gek om hun te spelen ook.
We don't say nice kind of things in Sweden.
You fuck!
Can you shove it up?
Shove it. Can you shove it?
Can you shove it? I can shove this up your ass if you want. Yeah. Say something.
Vi klarar inte så här, jag klarar det.
Cool, man. Whatever. Cool anyway.
Hoe moet je nou zeggen, man? Fuck. Hey, wat is dit? Fuck off, man. Fuck off.
Ja, iedereen denkt natuurlijk dat tour onwijs relaxed is en zo. Ja, is het natuurlijk ook wel, maar ja, het is voornamelijk alleen maar wachten.
No fucking picture of me, man. Fuck.
Wat ik me ook wel herinneren was dat ik die gasten van Morbid Angel zag. En de zanger was er niet. Ik denk, nou moet ik een foto maken. Dus het leek net dat ik bij Morbid Angel zat.
Fucking camera out of my face, man. Motherfucker!
Ja, we konden met iedereen opschieten.
Wat een rock and roll groep.
Ja, de tour van Morbid Angel die duurde maar 10 tot 12 dagen.
No. We drink some beer here. We have a fucking nice, great time.
You know what it means?
Yeah, like that.
Wat mij betrof had die tour echt veel langer door mogen gaan.
Henry, ging het?
Ja. Traditionally, the band taught each other some elementary words of their languages.
From Holland are the best girls in the world, and if somebody wants, if some nice girl would like to fuck with me, just call me. Buceta. Ich will ein Fotza ficken. There's a lot of names, man. That's Deutsch. I think it means that I wanna fuck a pussy. Yeah, only this shit like that.
Oh yeah. And can you say something Dutch to the camera?
Leg meine Schwanz.
Ik wil.
Ik wil.
Neuken.
I don't know what it is. Man.
Neuken is fucking.
Repeat everything again.
Ik wil neuken.
Ik wil nuken.
Kut.
Ik wil nuken kut. The most popular one is buceta. Buceta. Wow. He knows. Quero foder buceta.
Quero foder buceta.
It's perfect.
Quero foder buceta.
Oh yeah.
Quero foder buceta.
During this tour, Occult played one gig in Holland at the O13 venue, which was very important to them, as it was their home base. Meanwhile, Maurice developed different interests and began to focus on producing metal videos. To see how a low-cost slow computer would behave compositing and editing, Maurice started editing and filming Occult's first video, Doomsday Destroyer, in 1999, which was a big task for his low-budget computer, and the video turned out weak. To make matters worse, a few months later, Occult was kicked out of the deal with Massacre Records because of what seemed to be a major reorganization, but Occult wasn't disconcerted by this. The band recorded a new 4-track promo CD at Dreamworld Studios in 2000, which was owned by their sound engineer, and the band was signed by the Belgian Painkiller Records for their 4th album. 2 songs of the promo CD were released by Painkiller Records for the Violence and Hatred CD single. For one of these songs, Killing for Recreation, Maurice made a video. Producing a video is a long process and requires a lot of patience. The shoot took 2 days and editing about 2 weeks. By this time, Maurice had already started his own video production company, Lowlife Media. He invested in more expensive and professional equipment and produced videos for bands like Malakash, Aborted, Power Symphony, Immolation, Even Vast and others.
Bas, helemaal op nul. Nou, even staat gelijk. Helemaal op nul. Gelijk, daar.
In the meantime, Occult kept busy preparing their new material and entered Harrow Studios again to record their 4th album, Rage to Revenge, in 2001. With Leon gone, this album turned out to be more brutal and heavier. The songs were more primitive, loaded with classic aggressive riffs in the 80s style, which brought to mind the old gods Slayer, Creator, Protector and the resurrected Necrodeath. No melodic harmonies, but pure metal for banging. Rage to Revenge also happened to be the last album with Rachel. The well-known death metalist Sinister offered Rachel to take up the vocals for them. Rachel decided to go on with both bands. Occult, however, felt that Rachel couldn't combine both bands, and it was decided that it was best for her to only focus on Sinister.
Maar goed, in ieder geval toen ik in Occult zat, ben ik dus gevraagd voor Sinister voor een cover van Possessed te komen doen, want we zaten toen nog tijd zonder zanger. Daarna hebben ze mij gevraagd om vast te komen. Toen zat ik dus in 2 bands en ik ben toen nog tijd ook verhuisd naar Rotterdam. En toen moest ik gaan kiezen. En aangezien ik het heel moeilijk vond om een beslissing te nemen, heb ik de jongens gevraagd wat ik zou moeten doen. Toen hebben we maar besloten dat ik zou stoppen met Occult.
Occult said goodbye to Rachel after 7 years' services, and the band marched on stronger than ever. style to a 4-piece turned out to be a good thing, and it was also recognized by the press and their fans during the first live gig without Rachel, which took place in 2001 at the O13 venue. The band played at a benefit festival for Chuck Schuldiner, who passed away in December 2001. They shared stages with Kalanish Circle, Got Dethroned, Thanatos, Severe Torture, Outburst, Mangled and Flesh Made Sin. Bands were asked to do a death cover song, and Occult picked out Mutilation. Maurice felt that one important Dutch top act was left out in the lineup of the festival, Pentacle. So Occult decided to perform the cover song together with Pentacle's frontman, Wannis.
Let's go, Pentacle! Let me fucking hear you! Wannis! Oké, Wannis, welk nummer gaan we doen?
At a certain point, Maurice asked me to join Occult on stage. There was a Chuck Schuldiner benefit, and Occult was going to perform the song Mutilation of the Scream Bloody Gore album. I was very happy they asked me, because the Scream Bloody Gore album is my favorite death album. So I learned the songs, at my home, and the first time I did it was on stage with it. It was a very blast, It didn't go tight as we expected or hoped, but it was lots of fun. The people enjoyed it, I enjoyed it, the band as well, and as you can see, it was lots of fun on stage.
Promotion for Rage the Revenge was widespread, and Maurice headed off to New York to do some interviews with the local radio stations WSOU, Seton's Hall's Pirate Radio in New Jersey, and Hellhole WNYU in Manhattan.
Hi, nice being here. Thanks.
Straight from Holland, like straight off the airplane. When you arrived, what was it like? A couple days ago? Saturday?
Yeah. Any chance for Occult coming to the US for a show, or? Everybody's asking this. It'd be more difficult for everyone. It's difficult. We get offers, but the conditions are bad. Yeah, like 2 days or something.
Are you having a good time so far?
Have a good
you went to that show and everything?
Yeah, I went to the show. Profanatica played there.
Yeah, that cool show that we were plugging for the past 2 weeks. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, I have a good time.
I had a track off of it after we get off the air. Tell us about the recording of the new album. It's called Rage to Revenge, and it's going to be released in September.
Yeah, it will be released in September at Painkiller Records. It's a Belgian label. It's a small label, but they do a lot for us. I think it's better to be on a small label than a bigger label. They always have these promises and everything, and that doesn't work out. So yeah, this is a new lineup of not like new members that we kicked out or other guitar players. So this sounds different than the Flesh and Blood album.
What kind of directions the new guitarist thought?
No, we don't have a new guitars. We had two guitar players and we kicked one out. So.
Oh, so it's just one
guitar.
guitar
We
player
adjusted. They are different kind of styles of music.
Okay.
So the other guy was more like dominant. He was telling us what to do and what music, and we didn't like his style. So.
How would you compare like the scene, like from where you're from and from over here? How would you?
Well,
it's okay if you want to bash this country. I understand. I know that it's much bigger in Europe. So.
No, it's strange that if you see festivals over here, they have lots of bands and they only play like 20 minutes or something. I feel bad for the bands.
Oh, is it not like that?
No, in Holland we only have like 4 bands or 5 bands, and if there are money bands, it starts early. So every band has the opportunity to play like 45 minutes or 40 minutes. So.
Wow.
And sure enough, Occult was booked to join Dark Funeral, Ragnarok, Titfall and Anorexia Nervosa on the Diabolus Interium tour in 2002. Occult's live performances were way more aggressive and intense than before, and the solo vocals of MAURICE unleashed the aggression of his early days. During this tour, all bands faced some major setbacks, but Occult and 2 other bands in particular. As halfway the tour, their tour manager informed them that they might not be able to finish the tour because of financial reasons. The band could choose to either go home or continue the tour in a camper. They chose the latter, which didn't appear to be bad at all, as they were independent and even had some time for sightseeing.
moet ik regelen?
Stroom. Staat niet lukken.
Ja, goed plan.
Want vanavond even verder, hè.
Dit is het, jongens.
Often they arrived at the venues before the other bands.
Now you will face my darkest dream. You will enter my dream of violence and hatred.
The other two bands, Ragnarok and Anorexia Nervosa, were not that lucky and had to cancel the rest of the tour, so that the remaining gigs were done by Dark Funeral, Titfall and Occult.
Okay, we are Occult from Holland. This next one is called Violence and Hatred.
They won't forget their last gig. After that memorable tour, Occult concentrated on writing new songs for their fifth album. They stayed with Painkiller Records, and the Stage 1 studio in Germany was booked in the summer of 2003. Their fifth album, Elegy for the Weak, was produced by no one less than Andy Claassen, who provided the record with a powerful, brutal sound.
Standing here in front of Stage 1 studio in Germany, Bühne. We recorded our fifth album called Elegy for the Weak, which is finished now. We're waiting on Andy, then we get the fuck at home.
Surpassing the previous assault of Deadly Thrash, the new attack displayed Occult's most aggressive and heavy songwriting to date, while the vocals were more menacing than ever.
I'm Richard, I'm playing guitars.
Through this new recording, Occult has proven to belong to the true warriors devoted to and capable of delivering pure traditional thrash, and they will not stray from their path.
I'm Twan, playing bass.
Hi, I'm Eric, I'm playing the drums.
Good mom.
Hi, I'm Maurice, I'm doing vocals.
All hail devastating thrash metal.
Een flesje bier.
Fucking trash! Fucking trash now!
Fuck it!
$15? I'll do it for 20 million. 20 million is okay.
Die mannen waren altijd professioneel bezig.
I didn't find it very interesting anymore to do. At that same time I got a job offer in New York, so I quit.
Oh, that's wrong with playing bass.
Ja, ik ben altijd grote fan geweest. Ja, ik ben altijd grote fan geweest van Sinister. Ik wil je niet gaan lachen. Ja, ik ben altijd grote fan. Ja, ik ben altijd grote fan geweest van Sinister. Sinister. En hoe moet daarna zijn ook alweer?
Ja!